This is the Meta Magic Hour.
Archive.
No, this is our talk show. Meta Magic Hour. They have just now heard this title for the first time. I hope they like it. Do you guys like it?
Meta Magic Hour.
I was saying like Meta Magic because that's a D&D thing, and then Magic Hour because we're filmmakers and that's a film thing.
All of us are filmmakers,
And
right?
We're doing this for like
Yeah,
all of
course.
us.
Everyone.
Yes.
There's a doctor?
As
Who is
the
it?
Travis said, except for the doctor. And yes, that's that this is an hour. I figured Meta Magic Hour to kind of be fun. I sprung it on you. Do you guys like it, or should we just re-roll with a new name?
I mean, do you have another name ready?
I have 2 more names ready.
Can I hear them?
Wait, I want to, yeah.
Yeah.
Do I need to start over again?
No.
But I feel like I should start with the laugh and then go into
No. You gotta.
Okay, so since we're the Forgotten Archives, the other one was the Remembered Archives. Just because I thought it sounded funny.
Okay. What
And
was their
then-
third option?
The Forgotten Audiobook.
Here's the thing. I like Meta Magic Hour, but I will strictly be calling it the Remembered Archive.
Okay. The Remembered Archive it is.
No. It's the Meta Magic Hour.
It's the Meta Magic Hour.
But
But
I'm
we're
gonna
going to
go-
lovingly call it the Remembered Archive.
Okay. Let's get all 3 copyrighted.
Archive.
The Archive. Just
The Archive. Right. So, on tonight's episode of the Meta Magic Hour, this is after episode 6 of our podcast.
Wild.
Yeah, so this last episode, let's talk about it, guys. So, tell me, Lily, Ashley, who plays Lily, how do you feel knowing that your character, as far as you know, died and you left the room?
As far as I know, which is a fact, she's dead.
I'm trying to do hosting moves.
Hosting moves? Those are some good ones. Let me do...
But seriously, how do you feel?
As a person who obviously put in time and effort into a backstory that I hoped
A really good one.
to learn about and share with an audience, or
Don't-
just with my friends.
Don't say too much because the backstory is still going to come into effect.
Okay.
Because things have been set in motion in such a way that you chose your character, but you told me things about the world from your character's perspective that had to happen and will continue happening. But
Fair
please
point.
continue.
It just...
Are you mad at anyone? Do you want to look at the camera and call anyone out?
Jacob.
I am a little salty with Luke more. No, you. But at the same time, I'm like, it's easy to be salty when you can't. What's cool about D&D is that you can't control anyone. Everyone gets to do what they want. So just as I get to do what I want, other people get to do what they want, and that can be like really exciting, but also sometimes like really frustrating. And so I'm personally sad because like I really wanted there to be a character arc for Lily, just because I built someone who was so sheltered and, as y'all learned, very entitled, very selfish, and I was really hoping that exposure to the world was going to change that.
She did, in a way, have a small arc with slavery.
I mean, yeah, in the end, her selfishness, like, still overthrew that, but yeah, that's true. I mean, after she got captured, right, and then that realization of, oh my gosh, this is just, like, I'm a person, they're people. That sounds awful, but if y'all learn more about Lily's backstory, then maybe you would understand why she believes what she believes. But, I mean, she was raised with, like, horrible things ingrained in her.
She was raised in an entitled form, told certain things, and she
believed them.
Yes, she stepped outside, saw the real world, started to realize that that's not exactly how things go.
Yeah.
Now, Jacob,
yes.
you had to watch Lily die. Someone you have...
For me. For me, almost.
Yes, for you.
Came out to save me.
She did. You are the reason she died.
Yes.
The barbarian, the first battle, the barbarian has not just been able to take control and dominate. How does Bordeaux feel, and how do you feel with this?
I mean, I will say, I tried to lay it out there afterwards when I did have the last moment of silence with Lily while she was dead. But it was hard for Bordeaux and again for me because it was, again, seeing Ashley come out there, even though, again, she came out there just sprinted out with no, like, regard for her own well-being, it felt like. And even though, again, I was always used to just being able to cleave left and right and go through all these things to then have a lot of creatures come and attack and barely scrape by and even, again, basically die if not for Fren actually coming and helping me. And then seeing Lily come out there and help and even just start punching and trying to tackling with everything she had left. It was
probably her most powerful attack.
No. The rock. The rock was the most powerful attack. But to go out there and not just attack multiple of the harpies or the hags, whatever they're called, to attack multiple of them and actually make a difference, get some of them off Bordeaux, like, it really did mean a lot for him. Even though he went down and out, when he came back up, Lily was gone. And again, having the moment, the previous episode that we didn't get to talk about, even just being like, hey, you are not just worth money, but hey, you need to look out for yourself. And for her to then kind of pass away and, again, Bordeaux feeling guilty of it, even though knowing that he wasn't actually guilty by him attacking or anything, just basically the dangers of the desert, still does feel guilty about it.
And on the dangers of the desert, we have spent a while in the desert. How do you guys feel about that? I will say as a DM, I was getting exhausted. I think the players were as well. How do you guys feel about the extensive period?
I mean, Lily doesn't know about...
No. Would you like to tell Lily, though, what happened to her?
To
tell Ashley. Just tell Ashley what happened.
So, as a quick recap, we had our last moments, said our goodbyes, had our heartfelt.
And I will say on that, Bordeaux had a beautiful moment. He did.
Yeah, I tried. Again. Everybody else.
And then someone else looted your body.
Yes.
I wonder who that was. Do I get to know?
He just barrels the camera.
Should we
Who
tell
looted
her?
me, Jacob?
I don't know. Another person again. It wasn't as though we all sat around and laid a flower down for you to read. Like, we'll miss Lily, but there was at least one other person that had a moment of, let's respect the dead. And then there were others who didn't, is how I will put it. But yes, I had a sad moment. Again, I got my orb back that I had just given you. So that was the only thing that I'm like, I'm not just going to let that go.
My journal's still in my backpack.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah, are you sure?
Yeah.
Lily is gone. Your next character may find that the backpack is elsewhere. I will say it's no longer metagaming, as Lily is dead. Dewey did as the desert folk do. It was very pragmatic.
Yeah, you weren't expecting that.
Dewey has my journal?
He does, and the group found that you are from the Stoneweave Enclave. He also has your necklace.
He took my necklace?
Yes, but that is all.
I didn't even get to reveal that yet.
Let's not talk more about it because more has not been revealed. But he has your necklace, your book.
That's my diary.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot.
And I will say, that is something...
Does the party know that it's my diary? Or does Dewey just have a book?
Dewey pulled it out.
And what I told him, because this is your diary to reveal more. But what he does know is the sole purpose you left the family was to learn magic to live forever.
Yeah.
He knows that.
That is, yeah.
A sage of ages, you would? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And we learned that. We learned about a gem that was in the locket. Mm-hmm. And then Dewey left 2 coins on each of your eyes.
He did.
Again. So again, he wasn't just...
I'm not mad, actually. Like, OOC, I love that someone looted my body, and I think that's more realistic.
Well, and I will say, too, Syra went through his own compendium for seeing if there was a way to revive you. But seeing as the only way would be an evil or corrupted way, they decided not to.
That's fair.
And if they brought you back, then if you would have basically gone into the sun at all, you would have, was it just straight up perished?
Not entirely. It's very similar to vampirism, but in this world there are differences. I will not go into details.
Okay.
In case it actually happens.
Exactly. It could happen. You could meet someone. But you were at that point that could happen.
I super love that my diary's pulled out. Because me as a player, that excites me that, one, I love to hear that y'all already got to learn so much about me that I didn't get to, like, share as a player.
Yeah.
And
now you can write notes to Dewey.
And yeah, well, that's what's exciting is that, like, maybe, you know, I'll get to share a lot with Sabi, who has that diary. Also, okay, I wanted to say earlier, because I was thinking about this, when you're talking about me running out to help you, it's crazy because...
What was that off screen? That
Sabi has the diary, or Justin has the diary.
Oh, they swapped, right? Or...
Oh, that is right. That is right.
Syra
Thank
has
you,
the diary?
TRAVIS. Sabi kept the necklace, and Syra kept the diary. They did swap.
Oh, okay, that's kind of even better than for
There's
the
now- come here.
feeler of the group
Come on.
to have...
This is our DM doggy.
Hi, baby. Oh, no, that's my coffee.
No.
Yep, get down.
Get
No,
on,
not
bud.
off the
Lay
couch.
down?
Just lay down. Here, come on.
He says, Dad. Oh, you're so cute.
Oh, buddy.
All right.
But,
This is Zuko.
this little Zuko. But I wanted to say, it's so funny to me because, okay, this is Lily's first time out in the world. And I love that in the end that she dies trying to be helpful, and in the process of trying to be helpful was unhelpful. Because we know OOC that your character gets advantage when fighting alone on the battlefield. And Lily, this is like the millionth time I feel like she's done this, where she's just trying to run in to help. Because you're one of the few characters I would say she respects. Just to be honest, Lily.
Because he cut a horse's head off in one swing.
Yes.
I think.
Dead
well,
That builds respect.
Well, I think it's more so that in Lily's eyes, as a survivor, seeing that happen and seeing that he's a survivor in that moment. So Lily was kind of scared of you, but in that moment when you killed those guards, when they came up with the orb,
Yeah.
it was like, here's another survivor.
Okay.
And so there was some respect of he knows who he is and what's important to him. She doesn't know what that is.
Yeah.
She doesn't know if it's your life or if there's something else why you're like, I have to be alive. For her, it's just her own life. It's selfishness.
Okay.
But like to see though someone else, so she respected you, and then in the end, like she goes to help you, and then it's so funny to me because in very Lily fashion, in trying to be helpful, she was very unhelpful.
So, on this kind of note about the way your character works, there was that fun moment to where you were sitting there next to a friend, and your arm started growing.
Yes.
So, and of course, Luke is sitting there thinking, oh my gosh. So, that was a point where Bordeaux no longer sees Friend as a friend.
Yes.
What drove him to that point?
As we will get into probably with other post shows and other episodes, more of the backstories will come unveiled unless we all die again. But through everything that Bordeaux had been through before, he very much was trying to just survive, even if it was at the cost of, again, money, somebody else, doing these things, gold, like whatever he needed to do. But when it came to seeing Fren and seeing how he interacted with the world and how, again, would justify the means of killing somebody just because they seemed a little off or chasing somebody down, or even, again, just like the one thing that specifically threw Jacob in the process Bordeaux kind of to the edge was all of us had killed somebody basically to be like, okay, we are going to kill somebody and
You're
show
survivors.
that we're survivors.
You will kill if necessary.
Yes. And to show that, yes, we are willing to do that even if it makes us look bad, evil, or whatever in the gnome's eyes. For us to do that, and again, Lily walk up, kill. Syra walk up, Dewey walk up, straight up, just stab, clean blade off, go sit back down. Whenever it would felt like when Fran ran over and gave somebody a false sense of hope, like, let's both get out of here, just to then trick him and then murder him in a, again, I would even say a crueler way. That was where I don't want to put my life in that person's hands. And so even in doing that, again, I know he technically healed me, and at the very last little bits that we did, was able to at least have him nearby to fight off the last few things that we fought. It was that sense of not feeling safe even around him.
So does Bordeaux now feel safe with, and this is actually after you passed, Fryn and Sean's character both died as well. So, which you saw them leave the room. Mm-hmm. So yeah, we now have 3 dead in one episode.
I got excited. I thought maybe y'all were done. And I talked to them for a little bit when they came out here, and then I realized no one had followed, and I was like, oh, y'all are dead. I was like, yeah, they said they died from heat exhaustion. Mm-hmm. That's all I know. Do I get to hear more?
So let's talk about that a bit, because I feel like I'm being like the really harsh, evil DM this early in the campaign.
And you...
And I am, yes.
But we all our group filled out packets of like what we wanted to get out of this, what we wanted for our characters, what we wanted for our campaign. And we talked about that once I realized Sean and Luke's character were dead and then Justin came out later and it was like, what did everyone put? And I was like, I think I circled at least a 7 on the hard level.
On a scale of 1 to 10, the lowest was, there was 1 6, a 7, there were 2 10s. 2 people said that they wanted this level 10 difficult.
That was not me.
Which to me, I'm like, okay, so that to me is very real world. That is severe consequences to actions. And that's what this area, the Monarchs, is known for. During the day, the temperature goes from 135 to 155, sometimes hotter if there's a heat wave. And 135 for humans, that is enough to kill a human within an hour or so. So that is where basically these heat exhaustion checks, they start at 10 a.m. And at 10, it's a 10 check. At 12, it's a 12. At 2 or 1400, it is a 14. And it raises until it goes back down. And then at night, it's so cold
that you're in shock.
You can be in shock. So, as a DM, I thought this would be the area, honestly, I thought this would be the area you guys would see, and much like a video game where you have that moment where you say, oh wow.
This is hard level.
Exactly, I ventured in the wrong area, let me go back.
But then we murder hoboed.
But then
all of our ways out. Can I share something?
Who did?
Okay, so there's this, as all this has been happening, we're all friends, so we also talk OOC. And it's that whole story of the man who's drowning and then he drowns and he's like, God, why didn't you save me? And he's like, I sent you so many ships. Because he's like, a ship comes, he's drowning. No, I'm good. God will save me. Goes on. A ship comes, he's drowning. No, I'm good. God will save me. And Luke's over here like... and we're just like, step.
Well, and then you finally get Galloway. You finally got some of his backstory, not all of it.
Oh my gosh, Galloway's backstory.
And Galloway, see, I had this backstory from the beginning because I thought Galloway would actually be a much larger part of the story.
I mean, he was technically.
He was.
He could have been treasure hunters.
Yes, and that was his whole
Wouldn't
goal.
that have been fun?
And you see, it's one of those things as a DM, you have to be careful inserting magic items that are above a certain level. And I planned on Galloway having this item. And the reason why, it has a lot of features, some of which you do not know. But one of the features is it can hold spells. So it absorbed every spell that Sean's character had for that day. But then he has to concentrate on it for a full 24 hours for it to hold the spells. If the concentration breaks, it is a 50-50 roll on what happens. And there was a half a chance that it would stay, and then there's a half a chance that it explodes. It exploded. And then there's a 50-50 chance it only affects Galloway.
The wielder, yeah.
Or it affects everyone. And for both of those,
So we get a 25% chance of getting all heard, and we hit it.
And that's what happened.
Okay.
And that was one of the moments that I thought, because that item was going to be a larger play. Mm-hmm. And you guys will later learn what that item is, and then you'll be as frustrated as I was in the moment. But with Galloway's character, once William died, that item was the way he saw that he could bring William back.
Okay.
And that is why whenever he said, I don't care about the chest, if you remember. He goes, I don't care about the chest, get the chest. He went for the hat. Well, that's what I'm saying. Come here, buddy.
Zuko! Hey!
Is he looking
Zuko!
at Justin? Oh.
Yeah. No. Sorry.
Sorry, buddy.
He gets scared of shadows and ghost. So
You have a
exactly
ghost?
Exactly. So
It's Galloway haunting us.
yes, exactly.
And William.
Yeah, we have.
And 40.
No, but in this, Zuko, come here.
Woo, buddy, that was your job.
Come here. Hey. Lay down.
Calm
Lay
down,
down.
buddy.
Come on, Zuko. We've already spilled too much coffee.
Yeah.
Lay down.
He's okay, buddy.
Look at your ridge. He's a Rhodesian Ridgeback. They get ridges. So where were we?
We're on
So-
your couch.
Thank you.
Galloway and the item we didn't
We're live.
know.
We're great at this.
Those
Are you
not
asking about
winners.
which part? You were talking
Yeah.
about with the item and how you
the item that's going to play a bigger
and
part.
we hit the 25% of things going wrong, even though it would have had a bigger part.
I'm scared of that.
Exactly. So
Oh,
you hit that 25%. Things went south. At that point, Galloway no longer wanted to live. He did not care to live. But he had a very strong set of morals that he truly believed in. If you notice, Galloway never actually lied. Even at the point with Sean's character, during the gambling, two things happened. One, he realized Sean cheated. He rolled insight and he knew Sean cheated. And then second, he promised to show Sean how it worked, and he showed Sean how it worked.
Okay.
Maybe not in the nicest of ways, but Galloway had his own set of rules, and he wanted a true match. And basically, once it hit the point where he saw Friend heal, he didn't want that.
Lily was so mad about that because Lily saw that, I think, and read that because Lily lives by like, well, this is what I think is right, and very much read like, well, this is what he thinks is right. And so even when we were in the cages, and he's like, F them, they're bad people. Lily's like, yeah, I mean, he saw us, he thinks we murdered all these people and then killed this guy in front of him. Or in a way, assassins. But like, oh my gosh, when Friend came back and he was healed, and I was like, are you shitting me? And I just, in that moment, it was like, we're fucked because for Galloway, it's no longer a fair duel.
No, and Galloway, honestly, if he would have won the duel, he probably would have killed himself.
But he would have sent for help.
He would have
and
sent
that
for
was
help.
what Lily wanted.
He would have sent for help, and he did not. Because of that. And I will say, Galloway, he kind of knew the situation. He knew more about the situation than you guys actually do.
Because he knew where we are and we knew how.
He knew where you are. He knew what was going on. He knew why the ship was not moving closer in the distance that you continually saw. He knew why. So
I still don't.
No. Well, at this point, it would be safe to say the reason why is they were watching you. They saw you take down an entire pirate ship. They were watching and waiting for you all to die, to move in and scavenge what is left.
And then we kept making sounds that we were alive. With
And you kept letting
thunder
them
waves
know
and
that
fires.
you were alive. They were not going to come until you were all dead. And the reason why is they didn't know who you were, but they knew you had the ability
To take down
Take
a whole
down a
lot.
to
ship.
take down a whole ship. So they're like, we're not going to risk it. We'll wait till they all die. And then
Boy,
we'll come
were
in.
we. And
Well,
boy, are we.
And that's the thing. They thought, we'll wait till they die. Do you want to come join us again?
He's like, no, I'm good.
So that's really, they were just waiting. They're like, you know what? We're going to wait. We don't want to risk it because here in their mind, they don't know anything about you all. They're looking through an eyeglass, and they see through an eyeglass.
Would you like through an eyeglass?
Yes. Would you like to share what's off screen?
No, they're seeing through an eyeglass.
Okay, perfect. They're seeing through an eyeglass, and they see some of you walk around.
Was there an eyeglass on the ship somewhere we just didn't find?
No, you did find it. Dewey had it.
Dewey had the eyeglass?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Okay,
Yes.
my bad.
He talked about it with Galloway at one point.
Okay.
Yeah.
Huh. Oh, well, we have that for the future, I suppose.
But I was hoping someone might use it. I want to say it was Dewey. If not, somebody will correct me, but I do know someone messaged me. And they did take that because they wanted to, basically, it might have been friend. I'll have to check, but it's one of them. Check our Twitter at some point. We might say who it was. Ashley, you might say who it was on Twitter at some point.
Okay.
But they did have an eyeglass, and you would have just seen basically the other captain sitting there watching you in the shade, drinking some sour flower,
Just waving at us.
waiting for you all to die. Because he didn't know, he knows nothing more than you took down a ship. That's scary.
So, what happened?
Oh.
Okay,
I don't know what happened.
This is, you remember episode 1.
Yeah.
I am the type of DM who tries to sprinkle things in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
So
then
that
have
way
them
later
pay
on,
off.
they have a payoff later on. You're like, oh, okay. So like the first episode, when you're at the Fields of Fire, and you all kind of dispersed, and 2 people got attacked by glass daggers. Mm-hmm. That was Lily's scorpion.
I wondered if she'd make it.
So, and the reason why is, I have to play this realistically, and it's fun to have backstories take a while. But after every character told me their backstories, I realized yours would come first. And the reason why yours would come first is because you came from royalty, you ran away from home, your family will immediately seek to find you. That's just going to happen. Well, they're going to send the scorpion. And for those watching, you haven't seen scorpions yet. Scorpions are oxblood women, always only women. They are oxblood who are taken basically from birth to 2 years old at the oldest, and they are trained from that point on to be assassins and bodyguards. We don't do that. Come here. Good boy, come here. So, there we go. They're trained from basically birth to 2 years old to be bodyguards and assassins. They're extremely powerful, extremely strong. They are trained to not feel emotions and to do nothing but carry out their task. So immediately your parents sent your Oxblood guardian to retrieve you. And they also put a huge bounty on your head. They wanted you back home. Well, see, now we get to tell the fun backstory. Some DMs don't. I will once they no longer play effect. And that is, she was there at the Fields of Fire. She was attacking those with you. Because she's saying, I'm going to attack these people who are with her, whether they kidnapped her or whether they are going to try and stop me. And then she was going to take you home. Well, then you teleported. Yes. Then you teleported. You're going to go play?
But we got teleported to a false place.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. So the wizard teleported you somewhere else instead of to the collective. Mm-hmm. Well, she goes to the wizard and says, hey, send me there immediately. He sends her to the collective. So she spent the next while at the collective looking for you guys until she realized that wizard lied to me. Has to go find the wizard. Has him send her to the right place with threats, of course, and whatnot. And that's where she winds up in the desert. And that is where, if you remember, I said, hey guys, tell me a number between this and this. And that is the hour of the day, of this new day, that she would find you. And so, yeah, at the end of this session, Bordeaux, Dewey,
Syra.
and Syra are the only
We finished
three.
the raft.
So wait, did
They
y'all run into my scorpion?
No, we finished the raft and we're like, that's great. We finished the raft.
Good job.
We buried, or not buried, we basically said goodbyes to Friend and...
Unnamed?
I feel bad. Star-Lord. Said our goodbyes to them, and then he's like, do you all do anything with the bodies? And I was like, it's kind of... Oh, we also found out that Sean's character is handsome as fuck. And that specifically he was wearing a ring to make him look ugly. But he was actually really handsome on the...
He actually knew who your character was the entire time. He was another member of royalty.
So I know who Sean's character was.
You would have, yes. Yes, he was another member of a royal family.
So
went to school with you. Yes, and everything. He knew from the beginning. And your first roll for a deception check, he passed. So you did not know that it was him.
Nice.
And that is where...
But did he know it was me? Well, I guess.
Yeah, no.
Obviously,
that's what I'm saying.
I wasn't hiding myself.
He knew because you weren't. And
he was smarter than Lily.
then,
Lily was like, I'm just gonna... No plan. I don't know. Zuko!
Can you get him?
I'm trying, and he just doesn't listen.
Zuko, come here. You're done.
You're done.
You're done. Come here.
You're done.
Come here.
You're done. No.
No. Come here.
You're done.
There we go.
Hey, buddy.
So,
You eye my coffee. That's my coffee.
from that point, she arrives as they have built their raft, which who knows if they use. They may still use. Because we ended with them seeing her and her basically saying, take me to the body.
To my body?
Or you
Yes.
just even said, take me to...
Yeah, take me to Lily Stoneweave.
But it hit morning. And so
Wait,
your
did
body...
she say Lily or did she say my name?
She said Lily Stoneweave, the name that you were going by.
Oh, okay.
Because she knew the name you were going by from the Fields of Fire. She would not use the real name as... She's smart enough to know what you would go by and not what people may call you.
Copy.
And, yeah, then also we forgot to say, when your body hit the sunlight, it did indeed turn to ash.
Yes.
So was that it then? Did y'all tell her, like, there's no body?
We straight up, it was...
We gave you a cliffhanger!
Yes, it was like, oh, hey, you roll this Constitution save and see if you can fix the raft. Roll this one. And then it was like, okay, cool. So about this time, because of everything that was in motion, right as soon as you finish the raft and all you're about to get ready, you see this cloaked figure literally poof there and take off their hood and make this big revelation, and that was it. And then he's like, all right, bye, everybody, and he walked away.
So we'll see what happens next session.
I'm gonna have to watch the end of this episode.
Yes.
I can't wait to watch it and see whatever was you said to me and then the looting and... this was a crazy one. I hope you guys live.
Who's you guys?
You, Syra, and Dewey.
Oh, I also very much hope that.
I want to know. I really hope. Lily doesn't know a lot about Syra. I don't think anyone knows a lot about Syra other than Dewey.
No, I don't think...
I know that Syra has some cool tattoos and can make ice, is what it seems like to me.
Yes. So
and that it made water for a little bit.
Ashley is really interested, me as an individual, in Bordeaux. Very mysterious from the start. You have a chest of money. We find out you're missing an arm that appears. You're on a mission, clearly. You had purpose, like we talked about, respecting you because I saw you had purpose. And then Dewey is just like otherworldly to Lily. Mm-hmm. And so I really want to know, I'm like, what did Sabi cook up in a character?
Oh.
I feel like there's a lot there. I feel he has so much character motivation in everything he does, everything he says. And so I'm like...
Were you in the room?
I want to know more.
Were you in the room still whenever... Oh, yeah, she would have had to have been because Galloway said it. Whenever he was all like, oh, all of you were evil, and Dewey tried to... Or Sabi tried to be like, oh, well, I don't think that. And he's like, oh, I know what you've done. Like, even there, it felt like it was another level of intrigue and like another layer of like, well, what has he got cooking up in there? So...
See, and that is... I think some of you caught on. There are certain features that certain races and people, due to their history, can have. And one of them... Zuko! Come here.
Justin's just wrestling a dog off camera.
Yes.
The
There we
whole
go.
time.
He says, I want to play with Justin Doe.
Come here.
Ooh, buddy.
Come here. Hey, you're done.
Calm down, buddy.
We're going to hang
Come
out.
here.
Calm down.
We're going to hang out.
This is live.
Calm down,
This says
buddy.
Dad, but I hang out with Ashley.
There we go.
Calm
So,
down, buddy. Yes.
on that note, we were talking about tea. My favorite tea is...
Tease nuts.
No. You're a chaos demon.
There you go. No, it's better.
Yes.
Tea?
No, I was joking because I lost my train of thought again.
Talking
this is
about-
great live.
Talking about...
Come on.
You were
Okay.
talking about how each race and each thing is different in your world because
Yes,
they each have
thank you so much.
characteristics.
Yes. One is certain characters, certain types have the ability to have empathic abilities. A low-level telekinesis in a form. Mm-hmm. And Galloway had that. So he was able to tell the emotions of others
Yeah.
to varying degree.
It's when we Pikachu faced.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. It's when you two Pikachu face. You two caught on immediately like, oh. Because he felt everyone's death. And that's part of why it was so bad.
Is that why he went insane and started giggling and stuff?
It was, absolutely, yes. That was part of him losing it because first...
I knew it wasn't the heat.
No, well, because... Well, here's the thing. He was actually making amazingly good saves. He only had 2 points of exhaustion at worst.
Nice.
And his con was actually not the best. He was just doing very well on saves.
Excuse me.
But William, whenever William died,
William.
he felt that terror.
Of literally falling to your death.
Yes.
Yep.
So
Oh my gosh.
that would hold on with him. And he held on to that emotion. He didn't want to let it go because it's the last emotion he had with this person. And he felt, part of why he said Assassin's Ran is, he felt Friend's emotion in that moment. Which was...
Kill.
It was... The problem is it was a complete lack of empathy. It was an emotionless kill for him. Because if you remember, after he kicked him off, he laughed and made a joke about it. So there was no sense of guilt, no sense of anything really. And that's why he hated him. He saw him as a true sociopath. Whether he was or not, that's how he felt.
Yeah.
Then whenever you guys continually killed people, he could feel both things. Like when Bordeaux put his hand on someone's head and crushed their skull, he felt the intense terror.
Of both.
Exactly, but he also felt your fear. So everyone else, he somewhat understood their kills. He could not justify Williams.
No.
But then whenever all the many people were dying, it was very much starting to get to him.
Yeah.
As it would in the empath. I'm interested to see how Syra feels, feeling so many deaths. And that was part of why he wanted you all to kill someone. He wanted you guys to feel the
dread.
Yeah, he wanted you to come to realize, to see yourselves as he saw you.
Yeah.
Which was, he saw you...
Murder hobos?
Yes, he saw you as individuals who would justify killing no matter what. Because they wanted to survive. And he was not born or bred that way. He was not raised to always be the guy who, will do anything to survive. He had raised William that way, to be a survivor. Mm-hmm. But he lived a much more sheltered life, like Lily. So it was hard for him. And with his empath abilities, it was extra hard.
Okay. I mean, again, that makes sense to me. It was hard because, again, all of us were doing what we felt to survive, and it was one of those feelings of, did we do all of this for nothing? Mm-hmm. From the player's perspective, because, again, each of us, again, Sabi walking over and killing somebody, both Ashley and I walking over and killing people, even Justin, like, having an actual moment, like, this is horrible and I'm sorry for what I'm about to do. Like, all of us having all these moments, and then for it all to kind of get swept up because of, again, multiple people's actions and even his reaction to things was one of the harder things to justify. Like, even the fact that guy just sprinted off into the desert, and if we had to fight what we had to fight in the middle of the night, that guy that escaped, I'm very much assuming is not alive.
No, and one reason you guys had to fight so much throughout the night
It's all the bodies.
you have literally 100 bodies. And I know it seems like super harsh DM moment. You have 100 bodies below you. There's a point where that is a smorgasbord.
Yeah, inviting.
For all the carrion crawlers of the night. Yeah, so they're definitely going to smell that. They're definitely going to sense it. And that is where I said you heard some. Some would rather feast on the dead than on the living.
Yeah.
It's just the ones that prefer live flesh that came to attack.
Yeah. 4 hags or harpies or whatever they were.
They're a form of a desert harpy.
Okay.
For those watching, I love reskinning creatures, changing, altering a few things. It was very much your traditional harpy from D&D mechanics. Desert harpies are slightly different, and that they must pull the essence and the life force, the liquid, out to be able to survive. They also have a few additional desert spells.
Okay.
Which they didn't need to use.
Yeah. I got you.
Crazy.
But yeah, so do you have any ideas for what's in store?
For them?
Yeah.
I mean, oh my gosh.
Oh, sorry, with your character, with your new character.
My new character?
Oh.
Absolutely not
Yes.
prepared. I was so set on Lily surviving because the whole point of Lily was to live forever. And, oh my gosh, left to pursue life and instead found death. And like, I very naively thought maybe Lily could get through because with the price, this makes sense though. It's like Lily's characteristics clouded my own player judgment of naivety of she's got a bounty on her head. Surely another slave ship will find us and she can at least wager for her life. And that obviously, just like real life in D&D though, you're not guaranteed another day. And so I have no idea. I like literally out here while y'all continue to play. I was sitting here thinking, I was like, what am I going to do? What do I want to play?
And
At least I don't have to try and do a British, Australian, whatever kind of accent it was that we were going for.
And come the next morning, there is potential that pirate ship may have came. Seeing, you down.
I have no idea. But I want it to be different, obviously.
Right.
So
with Bordeaux, is he
Yes.
going to take the dead bodies back with him?
I mean,
Fryn and Sean's character?
that's the very hard part and where I tried to kind of say it without exactly saying it at the table of like, as we even talked about, he assumed that Fryn was very much an enemy towards that last little area. And even though, again, survival at the fact of basically having another life if I need to throw it out there to just another person dealing damage and doing what we can in the middle of the night. But in also doing that, he felt much more like he still can't trust Fryn even though he has helped him because even in the last battle, he still did cast a spell that really messed me up. Let me say that part. But I know it ended up helping in the end, but again, from his perspective, he just sees fighting, and then literally a whole shower of deadly glass around him and falling and then waking up and Lily's now dead. And so he doesn't feel very happy with Fryn's character right now. But again, even with Star Guy, he's kind of a little bit more empathetic because he was also just dropped into this situation. He's like, he didn't choose this even again. He came out swinging and fought off 3 of us in the middle of the desert when he first arrived. And I don't know if that's going to even factor into it or not. Even again, the fact that he was having a false appearance the whole time. The fact that he was upset, the fact that he still fought and tried to help us all, even in other times when he was coward, like he was very much showing his cowardice, he still tried to show up. And so it's one of those things where I don't think Bordeaux would feel safe even having Fryn around from how much he has hurt. He has hurt Bordeaux's character and well-being, but might feel a little bit more compelled to bring Sean's character, again, we don't know his name, Sean's character back with us. So I think he would, and even the fact that Justin right now, he he has no movement until we can get him some form of water. Like,
Oh.
oh yeah, we didn't tell you that. Yeah, he's
immobilized.
He's back down.
he's back immobile, and so unless we can get some form of water again, or even
I do want Syra to make it. I feel like Syra is like actually a good person.
yes. Well, I was even thinking whenever I had that thought about like, what if we cast ice from there? It's not just for the survival of all of us to be able to cast. Hey, ice breath would at least have some form of condensation to cause ice.
Right.
So even with that, like the fact that he had the moment with the person that he had to kill, the fact that he's tried to help us, the fact that he has knowledge and can actually pass it along and still again, rise up through everything still very much helps me. Like I already, basically if I remember, oh buddy,
you're fine.
I think if I remember, I already said I put him on the raft in the shade so he would be a little bit better off. And so it was one of those situations where, again, we're still not out of the frying pan, and we're not even in the fire yet. So I hope that it will at least come off, and we can get going and get things rolling and back to a spot where we all feel safe. But that's kind of where I am. So
and it's interesting because with the Monarchs, you guys first going there. It's funny, I didn't necessarily think you would from episode 1. Mm-hmm. I honestly thought you guys would stay, fight the fire, try and be the heroes. And then you left, and the problem is that wizard was set up, as you've now heard Sprinklings, he was set up to send people away for slaves.
Yep.
So there's no way you could have gone there without that happening.
I love it. It's karma.
And then I didn't think you'd sit long because, like I said, video games. Oh yeah, you're not high enough level. But now I do enjoy that you've seen how dangerous and deadly the Monarchs can be, because the story might pull you back there.
I mean, we've also had 4, basically without confirmation of it, but 4 characters die.
Yes.
We've had entire pirate ships full of people, and even important characters like the noblewoman. Again, she seemed important just for her head to get blown off. It's also like nobody is safe.
I kind of love it though, because should these 3 survive, there is so much change and drive that comes from all of the trauma they've experienced in the last 3 days. And like, for instance, Sabi's character, I mean, he lost Tukey.
Yes.
And, one of the last moments we had with Tukey was, obviously this is OOC for me, but I was at the table when Tukey's like pointing at something and none of us, I still don't know what it is, right? And he's like, no, Tukey, like, that, like telling Tukey no. And then it's like, but what did Tukey want? And so thinking that maybe Tukey was a part of his purpose, and now there has been all these people have died, Tukey have died. And so I think it'll be exciting to see and find out as we dive into your backstories, maybe how that changed y'all.
Yeah.
And did it amplify some of the purpose that you had? Did it change your purpose? But we won't know until like later on. So I'm really rooting that y'all survive. And I'm kind of excited that we ended up starting where we did, because nothing like some trauma bonding.
Right.
So
I think it's gonna be real funny whenever you, Luke, not the DM, but you, Luke, and Sean all also had just as horrible an experience, but in a very cold area, and our characters come together, and it'll be like this weird mix where we have 2 traumatized groups coming together to make a whole new team.
See, this is why I know I was joking about this earlier before we sat down, where I was like, maybe I'll be like the surfer bro dude. But then part of me is like, how fun would it be to be like a surfer bro cleric type dude that comes in and is like all about like being calm and healing and...
Oh, you think we need a healer?
I just think it'd be fun, but I'm like...
Well, actually, we don't have one
anymore.
Y'all
need a calming force. Y'all need a spiritual guide.
Very much so.
Yes.
So...
I was the healer in my last campaign, and I was like, I don't want to do that again, but now we need one.
Oh, man. I'm thinking about it.
Here's what we do. 3 clerics.
I have thoughts, Luke.
3 clerics might be enough to heal
3
you.
clerics might be.
Maybe.
Yes.
A cleric, another cleric, and a paladin. That's what we'll do, actually.
Ooh, a paladin.
So, moving forward for those living, Bordeaux, does he have any... We'll end with this, actually, for both of you. Without revealing your new character, let's leave that. Which you said you don't know yet.
Oh, I don't know.
What?
So, moving forward for... the next episode, we'll reveal your new character. You have a week to come up with someone.
I will figure it out tomorrow on my plane.
There we go. What do you guys... What is something you hope to see and something that you worry about? Ooh. He says, I'm done with the talk show.
He's like, it's over.
Says, bye, bro.
What is something you hope to see and something that you're worried about?
Going forward for the characters or just for the whole thing?
Sure.
Okay. I hope to see more of the world and the interactions in it. Because, again, even in our small little corner, technically, even though it was through a lot of hardships and a lot of horrible things, we got to see it, interact with it, and change it, even if that was for the worse. And even if, again, there's going to be some form of change or power vacuum from the fact that, hey, one of these whole ships is now gone, but we still, even though it was horrible, still messed up an entire slight little bit of what happened. Even at the Fields of Fire, our choice of inaction had its own actions, and we don't know what that is. And so just seeing more of what happens, even again with Lily passing away, that's going to have its own reaction. As soon as we hop in, it's going to be like, hey, so I swear she just died. I swear, even though her body's not here, I swear she totally just died. Like, we don't even know how that's going to go. And so getting to feel more out our own characters and the interactions we have if we even make it out, which I know is a very negative mindset, but like, if we do just go, oh, I swear she just died, then we also have somebody who might not believe it. And even again, might just be like, okay, well, if you don't have her, bye, and just leave again. And so having this mindset of like wanting to, again, survive, not just because of the sake of playing or the sake of, again, getting to learn more, but also getting to feel out the story and actually get out of it through the trauma that we've already been through is basically what I hope for.
And you?
I am really worried about the party splitting. None of us took any effort to truly get to know each other. And there was like a lot of tension. What gives me hope is that Syra and Dewey are already companions. But what could drive Bordeaux to stay? And so in that worry is my hope, and it's that I hope that over the next 2 sessions that people will finally start to get to know each other and will find purpose with each other. And then I also hope we'll actually get to see, like, we haven't even scratched the surface of your world. You know what I mean? Like, we're not even peering through a window or anything. Like, I know how many pages you've written, and like, it's like we've seen a partial of a grain of sand of a desert. There's so much to explore, and so I really, really hope that...
I am excited for that as well.
Yeah, I hope we're going to get pulled out of this. Yeah, and see...
Out of the desert.
Yes. And then I hope, eventually maybe we'll return at a higher level. How cool would that be? A little full circle thing, but... oh my gosh. I want to say OOC. I trust Jacob not to metagame. But Lily, that's her diary. So depending on when it got stolen out of the backpack, if it was still there, Lily would have written down that whole situation that she was marked. And her like, I definitely can't go home now. That's no longer an option. And so if the Scorpion were to get that, that would be read. And I would assume they would know. But like... Lily was writing in her diary, so there is information there. I just hope Lily's family somehow will get closure. But that's not up to me right now.
Well, this was a darker episode. Hopefully, things will start to lighten up more next episode.
I hope.
Do you have any questions for me before we wrap it up? Why am I a dick? Because it's fun.
No. Actually, I kind of want to know like how disappointing it has been for you that we've continued to just like go crazy, because I know you'll have maps and we'll all like have some things prepared and then we don't get to it.
It's not so much disappointed, because I'm not.
He's not angry.
I'm not angry.
I'm just disappointed.
I would say there's not disappointment. It throws me for a loop sometimes, some of the actions you take. Truly, the major loop was episode 1, where you guys were not the heroes. And the TRAVIS knows a bit about what was planned. So it's like, oh, we're going off the rails day 1. Let's do it. Since then in the desert, there were options to try and find ways for you to leave. You stayed in the desert. I would say the only actual disappointment was that orb exploding. Just because that was such a fun thing to get to know more about. Mm-hmm. It was a MacGuffin for the story that you will learn about later. You will learn about the MacGuffinness of it. And how it can no longer MacGuffin the way it should have MacGuffined. And I will say, for that split second, part of me was like, I can retcon and have this be something else. I'm like, but nope, ain't gonna do it. It is what it is, and it be like it do.
It be like it.
And
be like it do.
Yeah, but now it's exciting because hopefully there's hope on the horizon.
I hope there's hope, as to be very honest.
Me too. Yeah, I think that's a good point to wrap it up. With hope, as all things should end, we end in hope. Peace!
Thank you.
Goodbye. The Meta Magic Hour has concluded.
The Remembered Archive.
There we
Archive.
are. Perfect.